Hey there, everybody. Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter from CARTERMATT.com.
This video is about Blue Bloods, but mind you, there aren't any new episodes tonight. There will be some soon. We're gearing up for February sweeps. There's going to be a lot more stuff coming up.
Yep.
This video, though, is more about season 11 and kind of our current thoughts as to whether or not that is going to happen.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of questions, and we normally do around this time of year of, is it going to be renewed? So-and-so's contract is up. Are they coming back? Are they leaving? And those sorts of questions are coming up now because usually when we get closer to March or April, we find out what's actually going on.
Yeah, so this will kind of be your guide as we get a little bit closer to that. Hopefully, everything will go as it has in past years, which is CBS issues their bulk statement, press release, if you will, in March or April, and Blue Bloods is just sort of among those shows. If not, it might get its own solo announcement at that time. I think, if I remember correctly, I think that actually happened for season 10, mostly because Tom Selleck wanted there to be a special press release for it, so Blue Bloods could have its own moment in the sun. Before we go any further here, though, if you like this video, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other updates. But, let's start with the obvious question. Do we want a season 11 of Blue Bloods?
Absolutely, yes. I would love to see a season 11. Love to see a couple more seasons.
Yeah, I think all shows do eventually have an end date, even one like Blue Bloods that is kind of generational, and you could probably do offshoots or whatever and keep it on pretty much forever, but I could see, a season 12, a season 13 being a good time to sort of think about winding it down, but the question then becomes, okay, you got to get there, and we got to make sure that there's the right story to get there, and there's also the right variables that are in play.
Yeah.
The first order of business, though, is the ratings, which, they're not bad. Like, there was that time, you remember when, Blue Bloods was, the most watched show, it's still probably the most watched show on Fridays, but it was getting, more than 10 million live viewers a week.
Yeah, it was. The ratings for this show were pretty monstrous for Friday nights.
Yeah, and it's been on in this time slot, 10 p.m. on Fridays. Yep. It's kind of a death sentence for a lot of shows, and
But not for Blue Bloods. It's
No.
been able to thrive there, and it's still... Yeah, there's some declines, but it's still holding on.
It's still holding on. I think the question for CBS mostly becomes, how do you constitute holding on for a show like this? One that films in New York, which is often pretty expensive. One that features pretty big names who are probably more expensive than sort of your standard TV actors.
And it also has a fairly decent-sized cast.
Yeah. It probably costs more than your run-of-the-mill show, and that's even when you consider it not having a ton of special effects, it not having too many stunts beyond Donnie Wahlberg and the fire that I'm pretty sure we've referenced at least 5 times this season.
And probably not a ton of different locations. I mean, we do see the dinner table a lot, or Frank's office a lot. There's a lot of the same locations. So, I mean, in some ways, they're able to squeeze their budget a little bit, but then... Yeah, you factor in Tom, Donnie, the main 4. You've got a larger cast. There is a lot going on.
Here, I guess, is the concerning element of it. Blue Bloods is down almost 20% this season in the 18 to 49 demographic versus season 9, and that tends to be what the majority of networks look at. CBS, they do skew a little bit older. They may take that into account a little bit more. It does still get a lot of viewership, but I think, for so long, the tactical advantage for Blue Bloods is you can't get rid of this show because it is steamrolling everyone. It's still doing better than the majority of shows out there, but is some of that advantage now gone?
And it might be, and I mean, Fridays are starting to get a little more crowded. I mean, I'm not saying necessarily that it has a lot of competition at 10 o'clock, but in general, we've seen a lot more shows moving to Friday nights, which normally used to be, it's moved to Friday nights, well, that's getting canceled. But now we do have Hawaii Five-0 and Blacklist is on Fridays. There is other stuff going on Friday nights. So it just feels like a Friday night. The expectations for ratings is a little bit higher than maybe it used to be.
Yeah, and I think that's probably true, and I think CBS also kind of knows that their own model is shifting a little bit as well. Live viewers and demo they matter a lot, but they also want buzz, they want streaming, they want all of that sort of information. And don't get me wrong, I think Blue Bloods probably continues to do rather well with DVR viewing because it is on kind of late on a Friday night. I think a lot of people probably record it and watch it on Saturday or Sunday or something like that.
Well, we also have to talk about why we think that there is a ratings decline.
I think it's a couple of different things. I think it's number one, just what we were just saying, in that we're in an era now where streaming and DVR viewership is there. Blue Bloods used to sort of just be the thing that would be on Friday nights at 10 o'clock, and there wasn't a lot of other stuff on, but as more and more people get Netflix and, have DVRs and everything else, they can just kind of watch whatever they want at this point. The other part of it, I think, is maybe there are some people who just feel like, okay, you know what, I've seen all the show that I can. I know a lot of people were unhappy about the Jamie and Eddie wedding. Maybe they lost some viewers there. Maybe they've lost some other viewers after Linda died. I think over time, with almost any show, it's not just Blue Bloods, there are creative choices that kind of cause some people to jump ship.
Yeah, and for me, I do think that the wedding did end up, the way that they handled that did kind of sour some people. I remember last year on social media seeing so many fans and people being really excited about it, having this big lead up to this wedding, having the promotional material be a big wedding invitation. You're invited, and then we were, the church doors were closed at the last minute. We weren't actually invited to anything. And some of the same people that I saw that were really excited about it last year have been talking about it a little bit less this year on social media. So I am kind of wondering if maybe just a bit of that fire that was there building up to this big moment that we were all going to be part of did kind of sour some people off.
Yeah, I think in general, too, from a buzz, just like a point of view of people talking about the show. And I think that's important because CBS wants shows to market themselves. I don't think Blue Bloods, we're not at a crisis point here by any means. I think more than likely it will be back, but still, it's not generating a ton of buzz this season. It doesn't have like that big storyline like the JAMKO wedding that we were building towards.
Yeah, and we've been kind of talking about that here at the channel all season, that there's been some big sort of Danny stories that are missing, and just in general that feel of the show, of a big moment that we're all kind of building towards.
The other thing that is kind of floating out there beyond just the performance of the show is the status, of course, of the main cast members, most notably Tom Selleck, where, could Blue Bloods go on without one of the other signature Reagans? I don't know. I don't know if I would like to see it, but I could see CBS trying to pull something. I don't think they could without Frank. They put Tom Selleck in like every single commercial for this show. They clearly think he is their major draw. Here's the weird thing is that Selleck apparently last season was expecting a 2-year contract to continue to play Frank. CBS only offered him a 1-year deal, meaning he's not under contract right now for a season 11.
Yeah. So, I mean, it does leave open then the question of what was CBS planning or doing. Did they want to see what was going on this year? And that's my guess. They wanted to see what was going on with the ratings this year. They wanted to see, with everything that's coming in, what happened with the wedding, with the fact that there are different options to watch on Friday nights now, and there never was really before. Not never, but there was less. Now there's a lot. They probably just wanted to see what the deal was going to be. Was it going to get hurt at all? Was it going to hold steady? And now that they're able to see what the ratings are, that's probably what I think they were doing, leaving their options open, because it seems like Tom really likes doing this show. If he wants a 2-year contract, or he's hoping there was going to be one, then to me that tells me that he really enjoys what he's doing.
I have heard nothing that suggests Tom wants to leave Blue Bloods. It seems like he kind of just flies in and out and does a lot of his scenes kind of like all in batches.
Yeah, I mean, Blue Bloods is going to pay for his avocados, so he's got to keep that Blue Bloods money happening for the avocados.
Yeah, he's almost like the Judge Judy of scripted TV. Like Judge Judy will just like film like a block of stuff in a short period of time and just get like a dump truck full of money for it. Tom Selleck, it feels like his roles, he basically just has to, like, hang out in the commissioner's office, talk with Baker and, Garrett. He then...
A family dinner.
Yeah, occasionally wander around outside in New York. It's a pretty incredible gig.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's a gig that almost any actor would dream of. I don't think Tom wants to leave. I think it's probably what Jess said, that they are probably just wanting to take this year by year at this point. I mean, yes, you could put a little bit more respect on Blue Blood's name. I feel like they don't treat it like they do NCIS. I know it's not the same level of hit as NCIS, but...
Yeah, but we're still talking about a show that's 10 seasons deep. This is not a nothing show. This is a show that has stood the test of time when a lot of other shows have not.
Yeah, and it's still... It deserves some recognition, and... Hopefully, whenever it does have a final season, it will get that. It'll get proper billing. It'll get a proper chance to say farewell. And the other thing that sort of adds to kind of the interesting uncertainty with a lot of the actors is just that we're seeing some of the younger actors less and less. And, maybe you could claim that it's for budgetary reasons. It doesn't actually feel that way, though. It seems like, at least in the case of the young actors we've sort of lost so far, it has more to do with, decisions on their part. But, we only have one of Danny's sons featured kind of prominently now, Nikki.
Yeah, Nikki's gone right now.
Yeah, and I mean, it seems I feel like both of them will probably be back at some point. I think Nikki for sure will be back at some point this season.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to see her again. I don't think she's just went to have this job and then we're never going to see her or hear from her ever again. She's just forever in the wind. So I do think we are going to see her again. And I mean, I know she's off doing some other stuff right now, but she could feasibly come back and do a couple days of dinner scenes, come back into town sort of thing to visit while she's maybe got a little break from her job or on vacation to see her family.
Yeah, and in general, though, this is something I would kind of expect to see a little bit more of if we get a season 11, a season 12. Maybe you sort of go to the younger actors and you say, okay, we need you because you're a fundamental part of Blue Bloods, but maybe we will contract you for 13 episodes instead of 22. Or, I'm not trying to throw this out there into the world, but we've seen already instances of Jamie and Eddie not being a part of stories other than Family Dinner. I wouldn't be shocked if they're trying to save money to bring up more seasons, maybe we go that direction again. It's something to just watch because I think producers know that they have so many characters and storylines per episode that they probably feel like, well, we can have an episode without X character or Y character.
Yeah, and I mean, as much as I don't like that, I do understand it, and it makes sense. They do have a bigger cast than a lot of other shows, so... and in some ways, would it suck to not have Jamie and Eddie in one episode? Sure. But if it can then get a larger arc of something else that's going on for just that episode, that's not a bad thing either. Because we've seen this season where there's been some stories that we wanted a little more of, and if they had cut out something else and expanded that for that episode, they would feel a lot meatier. Like when we saw Eddie going undercover, it just kind of went like this, and everything's falling into place perfectly for this undercover, mission. And if they had cut out maybe some other scenes of other things that were going on, this could have been a bigger, meatier story that kind of felt a little more complete. Yeah. So... yeah, it would suck on that side, not have as much, maybe Eddie's not in this one, Jamie's not in this one, but then maybe the next one they have a bigger story and maybe Aaron's in it a little bit less.
I think in general, the biggest reason to have hope for a season 11 beyond that, I still think the ratings are good enough for now. I think the interest is still there for now among the cast, but I just think fundamentally there's more stories to tell that are really, really interesting because we have, is Danny Reagan going to find love again? Is that something that he wants? Is that something that he's interested in? What's going to happen with Jamie and Eddie? Are they going to actually be able to spend more time together at work?
Yeah, or what's going to happen to Eddie's career? Is she going to start moving up the ladder, moving into different areas of police work?
Yeah. I think this is the optimal series finale of Blue Bloods. I don't think I've said this before, but you have, whether it be Nikki, whether it be one of Danny's kids, the final episode is one of them graduating from the police academy and becoming a cop It's all full circle, everybody.
Yeah, he hasn't said it on the channel, but he said that to me every time we watch Blue Bloods. He's like, you know what would be really great?
Yeah, it's the perfect ending. It's like, okay.
No, it's good.
Yeah, it's the next generation of cops. So I think you want to have at least more show so that you can build towards something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll probably have more talks about possible spinoffs or something in some other point down the line. But for now, let's not split up the Reagans. Let's just have a season 11.
Yep.
I think there's a good enough case for it. But let's hear from you guys. Do you want to see a Blue Blood season 11 on CBS? Share in the comments below. And if you do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking that link in the description to the CARTERMATT store. And we'll see you here next time.